Over the last month, if you were watching the channel or following Make Noise on other social media, you know that we hosted a pop-up here in West Asheville. It was fun. We had store hours every Saturday. We had 3 presentation nights. Vanna Hafar talking about the Zero Coast, Pete Spear demonstrating some strategies for DIY reverb, and I also did a talk on the XPO called Prismatic Oscillations. I'm thinking of making part of that into a video soon, so stay tuned if you'd be interested in checking it out. On top of all this, we also hosted 4 mini residencies. 4 local musicians, each spent several days with all the Make Noise gear in the pop-up. And then each artist capped the residency with a performance, which we captured on film. These folks are accomplished musicians whose practices have not primarily been oriented around modular synthesizers, so the residency gave them an opportunity to try out some new things and incorporate Make Noise instruments into their practice. There are links in the video description that can take you to all 4 of the complete performances. And of course, you can also find links to the residents' work if you want to explore further. We also interviewed each of them about their experiences. Let's check out some highlights.
I actually worked pretty early to maybe like 10, like every day, like 12 hours almost, because I wanted to try to do some new modules. I didn't get the loan out, but I didn't end up using a lot of it just because I was a little more ambitious than I thought
Yeah.
I could do in like a couple days, I guess. I was loaned out like the pressure points, so I'm using to trigger like samples of my voice, and then I played around with the Renee a little bit. And all I'm doing with that is arpeggiating something with the CV, but not like for notes. And then I also tried out the mimeophone. Yeah, which is my favorite. I want to get one probably. I guess I really wanted to learn how to manipulate samples more, because I wanted to not do live vocals, or I wanted to be able to really just do twisted things with it, and so that was my main goal. I did write out a piece, but it's really drony, so it's just things in G minor, melody lines in G minor, and then kind of weave together. What I mainly used this time, I feel was just using the morphogene, which I played with the different parameters with it before, with all the knobs and stuff, but I basically used it as a sample player this time with the pressure points just to trigger it when I wanted it, and then messing with it in the mimeophone so it would layer to be a more choral effect. And so that was basically what I was doing. ended up using it for the piece, just for like noise sounds, because it was like really rhythmic and had a lot of good texture. And then I loved playing with the buttons. It made my stuff a little bit like grittier, I think. Yeah, good, because it was kind of clean sounding before. And so I was like, wow, that adds a nice noise layer, which I think it needed. So I was really glad that I played with it before I did the set. So. A great opportunity. It was really cool to play with so many instruments I'd never played with before. It was really fun to get to know someone and see what I would want to maybe add to my stuff. Like I really wanted to get the neophone because I feel like it was really helpful to what I was doing today. And I really like delay. Delay sounds really good.
I call it the Strega cicada. To me, it sounds like a Strega cicada. I started out with something that I had been preparing, and from there I built off of that and ultimately ended up recording a lot of what I'd made, but moved forward and made some new reels for my Morphogene and wound up with an entirely new piece. I wanted to build something in the space. I brought in some field recordings from the fair. I really wanted to use them as a method for percussion, as a bass in the noise behind the chord lead stuff. I have never used percussion before in my music, so it's been a challenge. Got it in the right spot, and I got the rise and that fall right, and then spliced it together with a couple other things, a chord loop and my vocals. I decided yesterday to try to record a couple things in space. I went home and grabbed my mic, came back and just recorded some vocals in space, and it sounded nice. And then I grabbed the herb verb, and I really liked how that sounds. I take a lot of field recordings, and I haven't used them in my music before. The Morphogene's a really fun way to use them. The fair stuff was really fun. All the metal bars slamming at the end of the swings, and everyone just getting off, and it became a really cool percussive material. And my voice as well is something I have been really interested in throwing in the mix and chopping up, because I do a lot of vocal play work live. It's kind of fun to mimic that with the Morphogene. I learned so much, truthfully, in the last month, I believe it's been. I like the feedback loop they can send into each other, which I want to explore further. However, I also really needed to learn about patching. That was my big thing, was learning about patching, and I feel very much like I am understanding it, and that's really exciting, because when I first got everything, I wasn't entirely sure what pathways to send to make what my brain was thinking about, but I feel great about it now.
Working with different patterns. Yeah, I really like the resonance, like the feedback loops and stuff. I was thinking about like rhythms to play over it and like using like patching stuff and altering the sounds to go with the rhythms and stuff. Yeah, I started off with the tempi, moving into the up mix, and then I went through the cube house and the STO and trying to get the oscillators and like kind of lower frequency patterns. Yeah, it's been great working with the system, and it's like a new region for me to explore.
I've been learning a little bit about mixing, and so I've just been thinking of arrangement in new ways and all the different parts that I wanted. So I was thinking in terms of bass and rhythm and melody and all of that from the perspective of my other work, sort of arranging in more digital environments. So I was wanting to try to get a complete track and layer things together. And then also my background in drone was definitely a huge influence on just the way that I chose to layer different things together this week. Modular has been really interesting to me for a long time because it feels like an important part of my lineage, you know, especially West Coast synthesis, and then all the krautrock that was happening in the 70s that coincided with Back to the Land movements and different spiritual expressions feels like really important lineage, and so it fascinates me from that angle. So I was excited to get my hands on it from that perspective as well. I worked with Renee's in both of the big systems, And I was excited to have different expressions of those. So one was my rhythmic patch, and then the other was my arpeggiated patch. And so that's both using Renee, and so that was really fun. And then the vocals and my MIDI controller over there were both using Stragas, and so it's kind of like two Renees and two Stragas, so it's different expressions. And and I think that's what's cool about modular is that it really is, you can do infinite number of things with just one or two things, and so I wanted to show like very different expressions and possibilities with what the same instruments could do.
Thanks for watching, and once again, please make sure to check out the full performance links that are in the video description. Thanks again to everybody who came out to the Make Noise pop-up at 821. We had a great time, and we hope to see you again soon.